we are on to the next project. I told you guys in that last video, I'm going to be starting this next project. I've taken you through it before. We're going to go drive over there. It's just a vacant piece of land right now, but it's the next development deal that I'm going to take you through, and I'm excited to show you. If you want to follow this journey and follow this project from start to finish, make sure you like and subscribe to this page. And let's fucking go! All right guys, so we're actually on site of my next project. I've taken you here before, now we're gonna run through it again. This is where I'm gonna be doing my next development. So it's a smaller piece of land. This is actually a 0.19 acre piece of property, which is less than a quarter acre, so it's a little smaller. This is zoned for one duplex or one twin home. So I'm gonna build one building with 2 units. It's gonna sit somewhere over here. I'm right now in the process of designing the plans. I have the plans picked out. I'll show those to you so you can see kind of what that looks like. I'm working with the architect to put together something that's gonna fit on this project, and it's something I really wanna build. It's not gonna be as modern as the last project that I did, but it's gonna be still something really nice, really new, obviously new construction. So this is the side of it. I think maybe last time we were here, it was full of weeds. The city came through and asked me to chop down all those weeds, so I had to pay one of my guys to come through and cut down everything, because if not, they'll end up fining you if the neighbors complain or if there's an issue potentially with the weeds getting too high. So we leveled this out. Spring's coming, so we're here today. It's actually pretty nice weather outside. Tomorrow we'll come back and you're gonna see what it's like to live a day in Salt Lake City, and the weather's gonna be completely different. I imagine if the weather's accurate, there'll be snow on the ground. So it's something you sort of have to plan for when you're building and developing here. You're always working around some sort of weather in the winter. Summer not as much, but definitely in the winter. So what is the next step from here? I told you I've designed the plans. I'm working with the architect. We're gonna submit those plans to the city. So the city's gonna ask me to change some stuff around. Then they're gonna look at the plans and they're gonna approve the plans. From there, I'm gonna get bids from all of my contractors. I'm gonna put together a budget, and that's how it gets going, baby. We're gonna start digging a hole. You'll get the foundation dug. And after that, you'll get the foundation poured. So I'm gonna take you through this whole process. You're gonna see it from the ground up, and I'm super excited to show you. So if you wanna follow this journey, if you wanna see what this is gonna be like to go from dirt to a building, like I showed you on the other one, like, subscribe, make sure you follow my page. I'm gonna bring you dope content like this. So one of the unique challenges when you're developing and building properties is you have to bring in infrastructure. And what that means is this property currently doesn't have any power, it doesn't have any water, it doesn't have any sewer. So you have to bring those infrastructure pieces into the property so you could build a unit on top of it. They will not let you construct a property until you have all that infrastructure in and it's been passed off by an inspector. So in this case, you can see I have this power pole. This power pole is what provides power to this area. I have to figure out a way with the utility company now to bring power from over there to over to this property, so this property has power and I can build on it. It's always a unique challenge. It's something that's very different. This, compared to the last project they worked on, is super simple. So hoping the neighbors are pretty cool. I could talk to them because I'm going to need an easement through their property to bring the utilities. And what that means is I need to get them to agree to allow me to use some of their property to bring those utilities across. They could say no. And if they do, I have to go back to the utility company and come up with a different way to bring those utilities through. Utility companies in general have their own easements. So even if they say no, there's an easement on that property by the utility company that will allow me to go through it. We just have to figure out a way to get around it. Hoping they're cool, hoping I can talk to them and say, hey, do you mind if I use this easement to get utilities over here so I can now develop this property and it's not just sitting over here as an eyesore vacant lot. Neighbors in general, as much as they don't like new development, they still do like seeing some of these properties get developed so they're not just eyesores for the neighborhood. I don't know if this is an eyesore or not, but I definitely wouldn't necessarily want a vacant lot like this in my neighborhood. So for me, my objective is to build something beautiful. Hopefully all the neighbors end up loving it. Might be a challenge in the beginning, it usually is. I've met a few of these neighbors already who are pretty cool. Other ones I have not yet. It's always part of the process, and kind of it's something you have to navigate when you're doing these projects, is dealing with people. It's also why I talk about communication being super important, because I'm really good at talking to people. If you're not comfortable going and having some of these hard conversations with neighbors, it's gonna bring the timeline out on your project way too far. So get ahead of it, go talk to them. After we get done here, I'm probably gonna go talk to them and talk to them about this utility. So this is why the hustle and grind is so important. We're actually at my next project. I've shown you some video of this, but what I wanted to bring up was this. I was doing a project around the corner and I got a notice from the city saying that there was a public hearing for this piece of land. I didn't have any interest in the land, but I went to the public hearing because I wanted to find out who the owner was. So I went to the public hearing, I met the owner. I said, hey, what's your plan with this property? He said, I'm gonna build on it. I was like, okay, cool, no harm, no foul. If you're interested, reach out to me, I'd be interested in buying it. A couple weeks later, I got a call from him. He was going to be selling this property to a wholesaler. He had already signed a contract with this wholesaler to offload this property. I said, before you do that, let me come take a look at it. We can see if we could work out a deal. I met up with him. I was able to negotiate a cash deal because I had cash right then. So rather than waiting for a wholesaler to bring another buyer to the deal, I said, I'll buy it now before they even take it to market. So before he even took it to market, I was able to buy this property. But the reason why I bring that up and it's so important is because it took me going to this meeting and meeting this person who owned this piece of land. And sometimes you got to step outside your comfort zone. That's not very comfortable, even for me, going and just meeting this random person. I had no idea who this dude was, but I knew this meeting was coming up, and I knew more than likely that he was going to be at this meeting. It's at 7 o'clock on like a Thursday night. Not convenient for me to be at. But if you want to make money in real estate, if you want to make money in any business, you got to be willing to put in the grind and hustle. And part of that is just getting outside your comfort zone, going to meetings, meeting with people. I knew this would be an opportunity, and here we are. We're sitting on this piece of land that I'm about to develop. Had I not gone to that meeting, we would not be sitting here talking about this deal. So that's why it's important to get out there. That's why it's really important to put yourself in uncomfortable positions, meet people, network, and go buy some real estate.